Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. I hope everyone's doing well today. So as usual, we've got 3 piles here and I've got some crystals on the top. Just take some time, choose the pile or the crystal that you're drawn to, and then what we'll do is we'll just delve into each pile individually. For your pile, just check the timestamps for whatever time it is, and then just click on that, and then we'll just take it from there. And these are just general pick a card readings, so not all the messages are going to resonate with everyone. There might be just a part of the message that will resonate with you, but yeah, so that's how it sort of works out. All right, so just pick a pile and I'll get into each pile from there. Hi pile 1, this is your pile. If you chose this particular stone, let's just get into the reading. All right, pile 1. The first 3 cards that we've got here for this week is 9 of Worlds reversed, Chariot reversed, and Woman of Crystals upright. So let's just get into each card individually. All right, so the first card that we've got here is 9 of Worlds, which is a card of harvest. So let's just get into the details of this particular card. So as you can see with this particular card, it says harvest. So this is 9 of cups in, 9 of pentacles in a traditional tarot deck. In this particular deck, it's called 9 of Worlds. So what this particular card says is that you have sort of come to a completion of a full cycle. So there's a full moon that goes through cycles. And it seems like there's a particular relationship, a project, or something in your life has come to full circle. So you've been working hard on something, you've been putting in a lot of effort on something, and apparently that is what like sort of has come to a full cycle, to a completion. So it's time for you to sort of reap the harvest. And that is what is sort of seen here with the pumpkin. So it's like, you've worked hard through winter contemplation, putting review and stuff like that. Spring, you've sown the seeds, you've nurtured it through the summer, but now it's time to reap that harvest. So you've got the fruit. It's time for you to appreciate that particular harvest or whatever you've reaped in terms of a stable relationship, or if even it is an end of a relationship, or if it is a new career, it's a cycle that has come to an end and there's a reward. Now, how you perceive that reward is entirely up to you. But what this particular card is saying is to enjoy what you've harvested, to give it some time. So now let's take, for example, with the fruit, either you're going to nurture, you're going to enjoy it or cherish and savor it by eating it, or you can actually take it to the market, sell it. But what this card is saying is know your value, know what you have earned. So see your value and worth in what you have harvested. But when the same card is reversed, what is happening is there is a completion of a cycle. Everything is come to completion. You've harvested the fruit. Either you're not happy with what you've harvested, or you are sort of into an energy, okay, this has come to completion now. I've got this. Now what is my next project? Now let's get into something new. Okay, this is good. But you're not giving yourself time to enjoy it. Or you're not sort of, you're not happy with what you've harvested. So you're underselling yourself. So you're underselling the fruit. You're underselling your value, your own worth. You're like, okay, so I worked this hard and this is all I got. Or whatever I've harvested is not good enough. So there's doubt, there's confusion. That's the issue with this, card. There's not satisfaction, there's no fulfillment. But whereas when this card is upright, you can also see there's a squirrel. So what the universe is saying is that you have worked enough, you've collected enough, like a squirrel collects the nuts for winter, for period of inactivity. So the universe is saying that you've harvested your fruits, you've collected enough, just enjoy, cherish, savor it, give yourself some time, just sort of appreciating that. And you've got enough to have some period of inactivity instead of moving into a next project, the next thing, the next relationship, or next whatever. So this is a card just sort of reminding you that I think that's something that you're not doing right now. You're already planning your next phase. The next card that we've got here is a Chariot. Oops. So Chariot, and we've got it reversed. So let's look at it upright. Now Chariot is a card which pretty much signifies law of motion. So you can see, everything on this particular card is in motion. So there's a horse, there's an eagle, there's a rocket, there's highways, there's, movement. There's movement everywhere. There's a very fast movement. And that is what is happening. So you've already completed a cycle. You've harvested your fruit, but you're not enjoying it. You're not savoring it. You're in a constant law of motion. You're like, okay, what's my next project? So with the Chariot, there's always sort of like, you'll have in a traditional tarot card. So you have two horses, which are sort of, one is going this way, one is going that way. So you don't even know which direction you're going, but you're in that constant state of motion. You feel like inactivity means you're not being productive. For you, motion is productivity. And that motion could be motion towards, next relationship, motion from relationship to career, or motion within career, or just activity, like continuous activity. You don't understand the value of holding back, enjoying, savoring. Period of inactivity has its own place. So you need to understand that part of this particular card. And that's the reason why we've got this card reversed in this particular reading, because what happens is when you are just constantly going full speed without knowing what you're going for, what is the direction, and both the horses are, just running like a wild horse without that calmness and stillness in the middle, which is what we see here with the eagle. When it's flying, internally it's very calm, it's composed, it knows what direction it is going, so it charges in. But with you, you're just sort of running like a wild horse right now, just because, for the sake of motion, for the sake of, okay, I've got this energy and I'm going to just go full speed at something without sort of giving enough time for yourself to enjoy what you've earned and sort of figuring out where you want to go. So that can only result in burnout and crash. So you got to be a little bit mindful here if you're in that sort of energy. Now, the third card that we've got here is Guardian, Women of Crystals, and it's upright. So you can see that it's women, and this particular card, so this is more like Queen of Swords in a normal tarot. What we've got here is a lot of crystals, and then there's a crystal around her, third eye chakra. So crystal here also signifies your mind. So what this card is saying is that you need to take care of your mind. You need to, it's more sort of like a diamond here. So these crystals, they also have got the hardness of a diamond. So what this particular card is saying is that you need to protect your mental state. You need to sort of calm your mind. You need to bring that stillness of that diamond in your mind before you can charge. You can see this movement here. Before this movement, the next step, you need to give yourself that break. You need to enjoy what you've harvested. What you've reaped, you need to enjoy that. And in that particular place is where you're going to get that calmness of mind, where you're going to get the next particular inspired action, because pointless action is not going to take you anywhere. What you need is inspired action, and that is only going to come from where you have stillness of mind. And when there is stillness, like imagine if this rocket is launched with all the amount of chaos and turbulence, the end result is always disastrous. So what we're saying here is that you need inspired action, not for the sake of action or a forced action, or just sort of like, because you are in that chaotic energy, you just need to charge forward. So that's not going to end up very well for you. The next card that we've got here is Hunter. It's reverse, number 32. Aggressor, tracker, provider. Now, with the Hunter energy, like you can see, there's a lot of fierceness here. Again, that, energy of forward movement. But with Hunter, what also stands out is a Hunter always sort of is an energy where you feel like you have to go out there, hunt and kill something, bring down something. So that competitive spirit, that something has to die for me to have a benefit. So more, if metaphorically, this is more metaphorically, but what it signifies is that there has to be competitiveness. So you're in that sort of power, place of power, where you feel that energy very heavy, very dominant on you, a lot of a dominant, aggressive energy here. Energy that does not know what it is doing, but just because you can move forward, you are in that competitive place, you just want to charge onto your next project. Simple as that. So that's what this energy here is, and and when it's reversed, it's almost like it's getting onto your head. So you're in a power mode, which comes from a place of ego more than place of calmness and stillness. Like, yes, you've achieved something here, but it does not mean that the next project needs the same energy or has to come from the same place. So you need to calm down. You need to find that inner calm, inner peace. You need to enjoy this reward or whatever you harvested, reaped. And then when you get that inspired action, that's the energy you need to move forward, not this energy of competitiveness. Like, so this is something that you need to sort of be very mindful of. The next card we've got here is wishing well, and it's reversed. So when this wishing well is upright, you can see there's a well and there's enough, sort of gold and stuff that is coming out, and there's a woman standing astonished, seeing like, oh wow, everything is sort of, I just threw a coin in and all this stuff is coming in. That is what happens when it's an inspired action. But when it is sort of like a card that is reversed, what the universe is saying is that this is a forced action. So you've thrown in the coin, but there's no trust, there's no waiting. It's very much like, why is it not happening? So you're trying to sort of force things into motion. Like there's desires, there's wishes, there's, whatever you want to achieve next. But there is no sort of balance to that energy. Energy is very chaotic, has no direction, and it's more like a forced outcome that you know how to get it. Very aggressive, power-driven energy, and you must get it. Like it's very much energy of ownership. Like, that's what hunter's energy is, where they feel like they need to kill something, have ownership of that kill. And in that case, you also see hunters sort of, when they get the heads and all that sort of stuff in their houses. That's the sense of ownership. That's the sense of power. That is the energy that you're carrying here. That's what you need to do to prove your value, to prove your point, because you're not probably, like I said, you're not happy with what you've harvested. You're like, oh, after working so hard, I only got pumpkins and this is what they are worth for. It's more like, I think you don't know your value, instead of that, that you did not get that value, because you have to know your worth. Only then people will know your worth. So that is where the issue is. And then this all forced action that is just sort of going nowhere. Next card we've got here is cat, two-faced friend. You can see there's this one cat that is very calm, humble, just sitting there calmly. And then we've got this really fierce, powerful cat that just wants to pounce at everything and eat everything without knowing what even it is. And that is what your energy is right now, that hunter energy, that energy of forced aggression. Like, yep, just charging ahead, regardless of where it is going to take you. So this is two aspects of your energy. And the energy that you need is of this particular cat, not this one, because this is definitely not going to give you desirable results if that's what you're looking for. The next card that we've got here is a box. You will receive a gift. So there's a box which is locked. It's closed. It almost looks like a very ornate box. So there's some mystery that is in this particular box, in that wishing well. You can receive this, but it's not going to come from here. It's not going to come from a forced action. You cannot force your way into it. The universe will reveal this treasure to you when you're ready, when you're in that calm place. This particular box or this particular next project, next relationship, next whatever cannot be unlocked by the energy you're carrying right now. You need to get into this energy, and that's why this card is under this. Right now you're in this energy. This is the energy you're moving in, but this is the energy you need. You need to go into a calm place, still place, enjoy your harvest, appreciate what you already have some gratitude for that. And then the next project is going to just unlock. There's going to be inspired action. You will know exactly in the right moment what to do to open this box, or this is just going to open by itself like a wishing well. So be very careful for that. The next card is, there are multiple ways to look at any situation, exactly the way all the cards are placed. So you're only looking at from hunter's perspective, aggressive perspective, only from this perspective. You're not looking at from multiple perspectives. You're not looking from these different crystals, like, your mind has a different perception. So you need to look at this particular place, this particular, whatever situation you are in, from a different perspective. Don't just charge into the next, whatever it is. Give yourself some time, give yourself that, relaxed place, and everything will just sort of unlock itself when the time is right. Forced action is just a waste of energy, and it's only going to make you tired and burn you out. It's not something that is going to give you any desired action. So that's something you need to be careful of. The last card we've got here is number 32 again, and this is upright, and this was 32. So I don't know if 32 means something to you. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 is usually a number of change. So maybe what the universe is saying is change of perception. So you do need change of perception. exactly underneath the hunter. This is not the 32 energy or the 5 energy you need. This is the energy you need, which is trust your own understanding. It's almost like you've blocked your own vision as you're moving as a charioteer. You've blocked your own vision, your vision of your mind, and you're just charging forward, probably going to just sort of hit a wall and burn and crash, and pattern might repeat again, something of that sort. So what you need to do is open your vision, trust your own understanding, trust your own vision, trust your own intuition, because like I said, once you're charged again, once you take that rest, you have fresh perspective, a new perspective, the new relationship, the new project, or the next step in relationship, everything will become much more clear. Don't just barge into things because you can and because you've done it in the past, and that same approach is going to work in different. When the moon is in different phases, the approach that is required is different. Simple as that. So you need to find out a different perception. So yeah, just take care of that particular thing, and you can change your perception, and then you will change your results. Otherwise, whatever next project you're working on, relationship or next step of relationship or whatever you're working on, if you've chosen this pile, this is the message for you. The current approach or the current energy is not going to work for you in your favor. So just please take only what resonates with you. The only parts that are for you will definitely resonate with you. Discard the rest here. And above all, just please have a very good week. So that's all I have for you. And I'll see you in next week's card reading. Hi, pile 2. If you chose this particular stone, then this is your reading. So let's just put this here, and then we'll just get into the reading. All right. So what we've got here for you is 2 of crystals reversed, 7 of cups reversed, and Tower upright. Let's just get into these cards one by one. All right. Let's just look at this particular card, 2 of crystals, when it's upright. So 2 of crystals is equanimity, so calmness. What we can see here is that this is 2 of swords in traditional tarot. We see a lot of small broken crystals, and crystals, they signify mind, your mental situation, your mental perception right now, where your mind is. We see a lot of broken crystals at the bottom, not much clarity here, so a lot of confusion. And then we see a sapphire, like which has got like a hardness, so it's like a hardness of a diamond, stillness, blue light, which is healing light. And there's a difference, there's a separation between confusion and that stillness. So that gap, that space is sort of what needs to be covered when this particular card is reversed. So when it's reversed, you can see this situation is overpowering. So currently your current energy is somewhere where confusion about something, confusion about your current situation in a career, in life in general, insecurity, confusion in a relationship, confusion or between a relationship, career, or choices. So a lot of confusion is sort of overpowering. There's no clarity. It's all full of doubt. So that's the energy that we're having. Whereas this is the energy that you need to be in. This is the energy which is going to give you clarity. And this is the one that should dominate. But right now, your subconscious mind, in your conscious mind, actually, this is what the energy is of 2 of crystals reversed. And yeah, this is like, you've got the blue color. So even blue color could be something that's water, emotions. That could be important to you. The next card that we've got here is 7 of Cups, and it's reversed. So this is a card of fear. Let's look at this card. Again, blue, water. So a lot of water energy. It looks like that there's been some emotional upheaval. There's a situation that is sort of causing a lot of chaos of emotions, specifically in your particular situation. Now, this card of fear, what we see here is, there's motion, there's waves in the water, so waves of anxiety, more confusion. And because of all that, what happens is there's also, there's a lot of vases down here, but they're all closed. So that is closed emotions, and that's what we spoke about, blue color, blue water emotions. So these closed vases or your emotions are all blocked, and, you've sort of hidden them somewhere at the bottom of the ocean. That's where they are. So because these vases are closed, and in that dark place, there is illusion. So you're creating these illusionary, devils, illusionary stories, illusionary fears, things like lions, devils, and all these sort of, porcupine plants, etc., etc. So things that are sort of not real, but created out of illusion because of closed emotions, closed fear. So this is something that is all created by you, created by, just keeping these vases closed. So we don't know what is in these. So you think that, maybe this is going to come out, maybe this is going to come out when I, if I unlock or open my heart, this is going to come out. So there's like constant fear, and this is what is in your subconscious, and this is what manifests in your conscious as confusion. So that's what has happened. So when this is reversed, what it says is that yes, this is again overpowering your subconscious, and then this is what comes out into your conscious. This is the place that you want to be, but this is the place where you are. So your fears are definitely overpowering everything. And then there's this big incense burner, which sort of is universe telling you that, burn out these fears, these illusionary fears, burn these out and let the vases open. Because when, these vases open, you're going to see that the waters are much more calmer, the waters are much more clearer. This is all built by you. This is all illusion. And right now, fear is overpowering your situation, your life, or whatever it is. And this fear could come from past trauma. So it could be past relationships. You're holding on to something from the past, like, either if it's a relationship, there was no fairness in that relationship, so that has caused you to close your red vases is usually your heart. So it's sort of like you blocked your heart, your emotions, because you don't want to feel that same thing again. So you've created these fears, and you're sort of comfortable in this in this bottom of the ocean, and you think this is where your rest of your life you can easily comfortably live with closed emotions and stuff. But the next card that we've got here is Tower from the universe. Tower is pretty much like, you can see the tower is breaking. So this particular card, it signifies that there is going to be change in this situation, whether you willingly change it or the universe is going to change it. So either you are going through the tower situation right now where your walls are breaking, regardless of no matter what you do, or this is more like a warning from the universe to say, you have option to sort of, there's fire around this tower. So you have option to jump into this fire and purify yourself in terms of your external and internal, burn out your fears. And like a phoenix, you're going to rise out of this particular, there's going to be growth. There's going to be new rebirth. So you can see a lot of new growth on this particular side. But then these are these dark fears that are sort of withholding you back. And that's why your tower is also sort of dark. What the universe wants you, and this is again, your fear. So you can willingly let your fears jump into this fire. And as you see, this fear does not have feet. This fear is not grounded. This fear is illusionary. This is the fear you've created in your tower because you've lived in this closed tower, in this subconscious mind with your emotions blocked for so long that you've created illusionary things in your head. And you've been spending your life with them thinking this is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. But what the universe is saying is that if you look from the eye or the vision of the sun, which is, nice and bright at the back, and let these fears that actually have no grounding and have no power by themselves unless you give them power, you let them just go down into this fire, burn out, there's going to be new growth, new rebirth. Now, you can willingly do this, or regardless, the universe is going to bring events, or you are going to go through events, or going through events right now, or they're going to come in the future, which is going to cause this rebirth or new growth. Yes, you can't spend too much time or more time in your blocked situation here. That's what the cards are saying. Okay, next card we've got here is Love Conquers All, Enduring Loyalty, Eternal Love, Lasting Commitment. And that's this is going to be applicable to some people, may not be applicable to all in terms of the specific example I'm going to give. So something like, there's been a past relationship that you're holding on to, you closed yourself, then you've created your tower, you built your tower, but there and now you feel trapped in your tower because this person's not happy. So this is, that energy of you in the tower with all the fears and everything, but you're still sort of sitting there, you're not doing anything to move out. And then you've got some a calm wolf, like wolf is commitment, enduring loyalty, eternal love. So there are people who are still around with you, for you, but you're not noticing them because you're in your tower. You're not seeing them. They've been with you through all this. There's someone who is reaching out to you, a one particular specific person who's making the efforts, and you're not seeing it because you're in this energy. You're comfortable here. Although, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of pain, etc. But you this is a known territory for you now because you've spent so much time here. This tower is known to you. But there are also people, there is support around you that you're not noticing. And these people have been there for you regardless of what you've been offering to them. So yeah, this this could be applicable for some people. And if this is more like a career situation, or a past decision or a choice in career you have made and now you're stuck in that particular job, then the universe is saying that you need to sort of believe in. So what happens is you're still closed to new options, new choices. You're close to love because you believe, I have to do these things for the society, for the family, for whatever, but you're not happy in this situation. It's the fear of moving out. It's that, what if I make a different choice? And your heart wants to do things in music, but you're stuck in some corporate job because that's what status quo demands or your family demands, etc., etc. So it's basically love conquers all. So that is lack of love for yourself. So again, it's going to vary for different people in different situations. Just take what resonates with you. The next card that we've got here is Oregon's Lair, and it's reversed. So let's just look at it. So this card is exactly, this your tower. So you've built this castle, you're lurking into this dangerous place with all these dangerous creatures, and you feel comfortable here and you think this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life, But remember, you're creating bonds with energies that are not serving you. These energies are existing because you're allowing them to, because you've built this tower, you've built this castle, you've closed the vase, and that's the reason why it's not floating on water and it's deep down into the ocean of your mind, because you've created these fears, you've created your castles, and that's where the problem is. It's you, it's in your mind, it's not something that is real. There is more to your situation than what you see. But what you need to do is open your heart and let other people help you if you're not able to unblock those emotions. There's a reason why these people or this particular person is there in your life. They are there right next to you in your tower moment as well, because they're meant to be there. So yeah, just sort of, you need to look at it. Next card we've got here is a Spear, heartache over what you no longer have. So again, this is this blocked emotions from a past experience, a past relationship, past trauma, past, injustice, or sort of past experience. So you're still carrying that pain, and you are literally sort of, your current energy has created a life out of this particular pain. So this is sort of signifying that entire, your Seven of Cups reversed emotion. And then the card that we've got under Tower is Gong, an exciting event. Now this is exciting because this is going to cause rebirth, although you're going to feel the pain. So Gong is more like, you can say, the universe is, consider this card like a warning. It is telling you before the Tower moment. It is telling you before your illusions start collapsing and you start feeling unstable, that you still have the time. It is telling you the entry of this particular event. And we are in December with, between that lunar eclipse that happened on 30th of November in Taurus, and solar eclipse that is on 14th of December. And then there's Jupiter Saturn conjunction on 21st of December. So we are in those energies of change, massive unexpected changes. So that definitely applies to this particular pile. It's some of you could be Taurus and Scorpio specifically, because you're going to feel those changes much more because the solar eclipse is in Scorpio. So this Gong is basically telling you there is an unexpected change coming that is going to move you out of this energy, whether you want it or you don't want it. So I would rather say, take this as a helping hand, because people are available around you. They've been offering love to you. There is someone that is sort of waiting for you. Your fears, intimate relationships interfere with my freedom. That just sort of explains this entire reading. Like I said, this seemed more like a relationship reading, but again, this can be interpreted in terms of career as well. Intimate relationships interfere with my freedom. Now that's what your biggest fear is, whereas the universe says that it is possible to maintain that space. So it's like, two dancers in a ballroom. So there are three territories. So you've got, so there's my space, there's your space, and then there's our space. The magic is created when there's a harmony in that our space. Like if you step too much into my space, I step too much into your space, then there's falling and then there's chaos. That's not dance, that's not magic. You don't see that perfect alignment of characters and movements and like everyone's flowing. That is what happens when people step into each other's spaces. So your fear of intimacy is probably coming from a place where your past relationships, wherever you've been stuck, were more coming from a place where there's possessiveness, more like where in the beginning of a relationship, a person would pay, do anything to please you, to earn your love, to get everything. And once you are in committed relationship, once two people are in relationship, then stepping into my space, your space starts happening. So that healthy boundaries have to be maintained even in a committed relationship, so that there's balanced balanced harmony of love and relation. So your fear of that intimate relationships will take away your freedom, because obviously now since you've spent so much time in your illusionary fear, in your tower by yourself, being intimate with someone is going to be much more challenging for you. So that is one of your biggest fears out of these vasas. So you need to understand that is just an illusionary fear. It is possible, and that's where magic is created. But you need to respect that space, their personal space, your personal space, and then there's a space of magic. And that's what intimacy is about. So yeah, that's the card. Then we've got the next card, which is Infinite Blessings, number 17. And that is just the card right underneath here. Love conquers all. So there's universe that is sending you all these different sort of blessings, showering over you, but you're sort of just sitting in your tower, not coming out, not interested. Whereas the universe is saying they are going to break this tower, and that's what the gong is for. So you need to sort of believe in those infinite blessings, even if, when you go through the tower moment, because it is for good. It is for your good, for highest good of everyone, because what we need is rebirth, and that's what is going to sort of come in. So it is possible to maintain individual creative identity and also be in an intimate committed relationship. This is for any one of you that is sort of bouncing between relationship and career sort of choice. You can have both as well. So this is all I've got for you this week, pile 2. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest here. Above all, just please have a great week, and just take care of yourself. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your pick a card reading if you chose this particular stone. And let's just get into your reading. All right, let's get into your first 3 cards. So we've got 4 of Worlds reversed, we've got Time Space upright, and then we've got Change, 8 of Worlds upright. Let's get into each card individually. So 4 of Worlds signifies commencement. So there's a new beginning, but in your case, this card was sort of reversed. So what it says is, in an upright position, let's look at this card, what happens. So there's growth. When this card is upright, there's Mars. Mars is forward moving energy, very sort of, full on charged energy, time to take action. And then you see an Aries, a ram, which is also sort of bouncing forward to take an action. That's what you see with everything. So there's a lot of action, a lot of light, everything is sort of surrounding you. That is saying time to take action. There's growth. There's a deer that is sort of like, moving in charge, in motion. But in your case, what is happening is this particular card was reverse. So commencement, it is time for action. You've been sitting in winter for too long. It is time for spring. So this is a card of spring. And that's what this particular card is. But your energy is still out of winter. You're still stuck in that place where you sort of like, there is no motion, that you can't do anything. So there's ideas, there's visions, maybe there's you want to take next step in a relationship, next step in a career, next step in a job. But that's just what you want. You're not doing anything. But whereas the universe is saying this is time for inspired action, the universe is giving you all the signs to sort of move forward. So that's what this card is. The next card that we've got here is Time Space. Time Space is basically the Judgment card in traditional tarot. So so what we've got here is the mythic god of spring. So it's not a coincidence. So your first card is card of spring reverse, and then you get god of spring in this particular card. And then what you also see is 3 Buddhas, which is more like, justice. So it is time for, so like I said, this is a judgment card. So it is time for you to self-evaluate whatever you've been thinking, your thoughts, your visions. You need to sort of self-evaluate from an objective place. Yeah, and then also what we see in this particular card is these rock monuments, and then there's moon, different phases of moon, and this particular center circle in here is the sun. So what it also says is that when in the light of the sun, what you can see is that these monuments are past. So your past has sort of created your present here, where you are sitting right now in the darkness. Whereas what you do in your present will determine your future, which is not seen yet. because it's dark, it's under the moonlight where, the light is not as clear as the sun. So it's time for you to self-evaluate using this light of sun, objectively self-evaluate yourself, not criticize yourself, not undervalue yourself, not sort of, doubt your self-worth, but see it in the light of the sun objectively, that, okay, this is what happened in the past and this is the reason why I am here. This is also a card of law of karma where, what it says is every action has a consequence. So cause and effect sort of card. So if you, and then there is this sundial in the hands of God of Spring. And that sundial, you can change your future if you change the action in your present. And that's what this card is urging you to do. It's asking you to take the action now. Take the action from a place where you've objectively self-evaluated your choices. And then as you move forward, your future is going to be revealed. And these birds in the card and, this sort of spaceship here signifies, again, movement and action. So basically, both these cards are definitely telling you it's time for action. Time, self-evaluation has been done again, in this resting phase and everything. But now you need to start charging in based on, whatever you've sort of figured out. The third card that we've got here is Eight of Worlds, and it has changed. So this is the card where, it was like you've got 4 seasons: winter, summer, spring, autumn. But then you also see there's a chameleon that changes color with its surroundings. There's a snake that is shedding its skin. We've got a moth that's undergoing metamorphosis. And then we also see some, leaf bugs that pretty much just sort of merge with their surroundings. And then we've also got a deer, which you can barely notice, and again, merges with its surrounding. It's adapting to its environment. So that is what the universe is asking you to do. There's going to be change that is coming, but you need to accept that change. The change is for your good. The snake has to shed its skin. The snake has to leave this past behind. Because if you carry this past and stay in that winter and do not step into that spring, then your past determines your present, and that will determine your future. Whereas you have the power, you have that sundial to change your future. You just need to change your present. So that's the place you need to work from. And change is sort of, we are in the season of change, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, which is on solar eclipse on 14th of December, which is in the sign of Scorpio, which is everything that is hidden. So everything that is hidden is going to sort of come out. So emotions, you need to sort of be careful of your emotions here. Next card we've got here, authentic, real, organic, reversed. So let me just show you this card when it's upright. You can see this particular person is definitely not very happy. Emotions, again, are strong because sort of more watery eyes. And what this particular card is saying is that you need to be your authentic and your real self. You need to sort of bring out the one that is you. Like this is where this judgment, that rebirth. So this change is going to get this authentic self revealed. Like I said, solar eclipse in Scorpio is all about bringing in all the hidden matter out. And that's what this change is taking you to. It is going to bring out the authentic self. And actually the universe is urging you to be your authentic self. So give up all the masks and just be who you are. Not someone that the world wants to be. Shed that expectations from people. Expectations of in your job, from your family, from your boss, in your relationship. Shed those expectations of, and change, and bring that change. So your future looks different. Otherwise, you will repeat the same pattern. Your past has revealed your present. And if you're not happy with your present, your future is going to be exactly the same, because there's law of karma in place. But you can change the law of karma by changing the action you take today. So take like a mindful action from your authentic self. Because right now your actions have only been through people pleasing. My family wants me to do this. My mom, dad, I will hurt them if I do this, if I do that. My boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, my children, my society, my status. So your relationship, your actions have come from that place, not from a place of, is this my life purpose? Is this who I am? Does this make me happy? So you need to get into that energy. You need to get into that mode where you know who you are and what makes you happy. So be your authentic, be your real self. Next card we've got here is Storm Fields. That is that change that is coming your way, whether you want it or you don't want it. The universe is saying that, this will pass, but this is going to change. And that's the feeling. So right now you may be feeling you are in a place when, when you feel that heaviness and saturation just before the storm. that storm field is going to clear your path. That storm field is going to give you more insight into who you are. But of course, you also have to take that action. You also have to make an effort to be your authentic self. If you're going to play with that same energy of pleasing people, then of course you're going to find yourself without shelter in this storm. You're not going to find a bit of grounding here. So the best thing for you would be to sort of, hold on to your authentic self. That is what is going to take you through whatever the situation right now is unfolding for you. Next card we've got here is chain of events that will affect your life. And you see a chain going across the globe, across the world. So there are some events that are definitely coming your way. And I think, and that's, like I said, this particular solar eclipse, and there's a great conjunction, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction Capricorn on 21st of December. So December is sort of saturated with very heavy energies of change as we step into 2021. But I think whoever's selected this pile, and specifically if you're Taurus or Scorpio, this entire reading is speaking very loudly of the change, unexpected change that is coming. So chain is also more like, hold on to that chain that is made out of your authentic real self. It will help you have some stability in this very unsettled energy period, which everyone's going to feel regardless. But for you, this is standing out to be very sort of loud. And the next card we've got here is Butterfly, a change for the better. Again, like I said, this is just yelling out change. So please take care of yourself, and also remember that the change that is occurring is for the good. It is going to make you into a butterfly from what you were as a caterpillar that was crawling. But whether it's your perception that will decide whether you like to be a butterfly, because you're so used to crawling on the ground, you may find a bit unsettling to fly in, the previous, in the earlier days and stuff. So give yourself some time when that particular change occurs, that unexpected change hits you. There might be some sort of a system shock. So do give yourself some time to adapt to that new environment, because that's the card that we've got here. We've got a lot of creatures that are going through change, adaptation, metamorphosis. So this is very loud for you. So it's all about change. The next card that we've got here is, if I love someone, I need to take care of them if they are in pain or suffering. And this card under that authentic self says to me that either you are in relationships or in your workplace or, with your family or society, you've been doing things to please people because you don't want to cause pain to people around you, but you're not doing things from your heart. You're not sort of putting yourself first. It is, you can love someone and you don't have to always sort of, make your decisions to please them. Sometimes you need to sort of put yourself first as well, and people will adapt to your changes. But if you let people, then that's going to be a different story. So you need to definitely get over this particular fear, of healthy love, that you can love people, but you don't have to please them all the time. You don't have to make your life choices based on what they want. Because if they love you, that's an unconditional love where they should not expect you to be something so that what they desire so they can love you. Again, that's a whole different story. That's not your burden to carry to please people. And the last card we've got here is Keep Your Dreams Alive, number 25. And that's what the universe is saying, that while you're going to go through this particular change, this chain of events, this butterfly events, make sure you keep your dreams alive. Keep this vision alive that you had, while you were self-evaluating and resting, because these ideas will come into fruition. This new relationship, career, or love within a relationship, next stage, in general in your life, fulfillment is coming. And it's just that the energy of change is not sort of always welcome by people. So accept the change when it comes to you, and universe is definitely guaranteeing that you're going to have pretty much all the elements surrounding you, but you need to let it surround you and be your authentic self. So yeah, that's all I've got for you, pile 3 this week. Please take care of yourself and only take what resonates with you and leave the rest here. And I'll see you next week in the next reading.